Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Monday Night Mayhem here in this WIW Universe mode. My name is Darren Jacobs and I will be your commentator for this evening as we have another debuting superstar to be put to the test against a randomly selected superstar. Oh, look at this! Coming in through the crowd. What a way to make make an entrance. His name is A.D. Nathaniel. And he's here tonight to make his WIW initial appearance here tonight. Remember, these matches aren't about winning or losing. These matches are purely on to showcase your skills and abilities against a random opponent in WIW. We've got a jam-packed show tonight. We've got matches from previously set out challenges from the comment section, which we'll see later on tonight. Plus, we will crown the final entry into the Money in the Bank ladder match in a 6-man battle royal later on in the evening. And also in the main event, Jaden will go one-on-one with Aaron Albright, the WIW champion. Oh no! What? Oh no, the GM hasn't done this. No way! They've put A.D. Nathaniel in his debut match against the #1 contender for the WIW Championship. The former world champion, the 7-foot man-masked monster, Rage, is going to be training A.D. Nathaniel in this debut matchup. This is unbelievable. Well, Rage has been struggling as of late to get the upper hand on Aaron Albright. Jaden, he seems to have a grasp on. Remember, Rage will be facing Jaden and Aaron Albright at Uprising pay-per-view for the WIW Championship and what is his championship rematch. It's a big match for Rage, and right now he's on a bad streak and a bad run of form. And Albright and Jaden will want to keep it that way, but it looks like the random selection of superstar has paid off in Rage's favor, because now Rage is going to be training a rookie, and this seems like an awful mismatch completely. But I tell you what, if A.D. Nathaniel pulls off this victory, it probably will be one of the biggest debut victories in WIW history. This is a big night for A.D. Nathaniel, and he looks straight away ready to go. He didn't even want to wait for the bell before starting to charge at the big man. But that's a big mistake. You don't want to just go straight ahead at Rage, because he will fight back. Rage, especially now, has a lot of anger and hatred towards Jaden and Aaron Albright, and tonight he gets a chance to get back to winning ways, and poor A.D. Nathaniel is the man who's having to pay the price. And look at this, a deadlift powerbomb inbound and just dismantling him already in typical Rage fashion. And poor A.D. Nathaniel doesn't know what hit him. He's in nowhere's land. And Rage straight out the gate, just dismantling him. Oh, wait a minute. There we go, Nathaniel. There we go. He's finally got something. He's got some breathing room. Look at this, trying to choke out the big man. That's not a bad strategy at all. Trying to make him tap out. That's not a bad strategy at all here from A.D. Nathaniel. But look at this. Rage just proving to be too strong. Too much of a beast. And he powers through. But Nathaniel, oh, he hesitated there. He had an opening to counter further. Big counter on the big boot. And now A.D. Nathaniel. Look at this. Big counter. And the forearms coming in. And now Nathaniel all of a sudden with a fight back here. Rage almost caught off guard by it. And there's a big elbow drop from the middle rope. And all of a sudden A.D. Nathaniel back in this one. Not ready to lay down and die just yet. But Rage refusing to let him get any momentum going in this one, but Nathaniel keeps fighting on. And now look at this, gets him back to his feet, but an arm dragged by Rage. Just tossing him around the ring like a rag doll. And you gotta admit, Rage is in control of this one. But look at the size difference. It's a noticeable size difference. The weight difference must play a factor. The strength difference is obviously noticeable, but Nathaniel not ready to give up this early on. It's a count of 1. And I'm sure Jaden and Albright, as they prepare for their match tonight, will be watching this one very closely. Look at the sharpness on that suplex. Oh, and playing to the crowd. Rage is hyped up tonight. And poor AD Nathaniel's the poor man who gets stuck in the ring with this monster, but he still fights on. A running clothesline by AD Nathaniel, who continues to power through in this match, trying to show what he really can do, and to impress against someone like the champion, the former world champion Rage. That is a big impression you're going to get. And look at this. Just targeting the head, just trying to take him out, trying to knock him out if they can. But that's an easier thing to do. Easier said than done. Oh, look at this. Try to perform an Irish whip attack, but straight away Rage just knocks him down. And, oh, look at this. AD Nathaniel continuing to fight on. What can he do here? And once again, to no avail. The strength of Rage is just raw power. Just proving too much for AD Nathaniel. Straight back to his feet. That's never a good sign because we know what comes next. Oh, I thought maybe he was ready to put this one away. Maybe looking for a Superman punch or potentially the jackhammer. That's what he usually does when he picks him up this early. Rage is really powering. Hold on a minute. Wait. Oh. Okay then. But music's playing for Jaden. But where is Jaden? Oh wait, there's Jaden. There's Jaden. And look at this. Into a knee bar. He's got him in a knee bar. Just trying to take out. And the ref sees it. And Jaden just nearly snapped Rage's leg off. And that's going to end in a disqualification. And Rage picks up the win on disqualification. But Jaden making a huge statement there. Trying to make the big man crippled before the match at the pay-per-view. Big statement made by Jaden. Let's move on down the rest of the card. Next up tonight, following the quite blatant interruption from Jaden there in Rage and AD Nathaniel's match, we have a 2-on-1 handicap match, and this poor man keeps getting stuck right in the middle of things, and it is Jax Wolfe. Jax Wolfe last week managed to secure the 3rd spot for Monday Night Mayhem in the Money in the Bank ladder match, and he put on a big display to do just that, and he's been proving himself since returning to WIW. Never made it big in the trial era, but this year he's come back and he's made a real name for himself. And this year now going to have a shot at the Money in the Bank ladder match. Tonight we will find out the 4th member of that, but for now we only know 3. Initially this match was going to be a triple threat match between Black Jesus, Darmus, and Jax Wolfe. But Jax Wolfe decided, since this was basically going to be a handicap match either way, he wanted to make it official so that only one man is allowed in the ring at one time, and that he's not 2-on-1 tornado handicapped. And that's a smart thing to think from Jax Wolfe. That's a smart thing to think. And to be fair, last time he was in a 2-on-1 handicap match, it was against the Dragon Dynasty, and he almost walked out the winner of it. It was an impressive showing from him, and it could easily do it here today against one of the newest teams in the division, and it's the League of Gods, who have made an instant impact here, both securing themselves a place in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Black Jesus did it a few weeks ago. Darmus doing it last week by winning a tag team matchup against Greg and Thomas, in which they picked up the victory, and Thomas, despite fighting on heavily, could not secure a place, although he will get one more chance tonight in the 6-man battle royal. So there's your first clue as to who's in that one. But the League of Gods here tonight in a 2-on-1 handicap situation, as it would have been if it was a triple threat. So I can understand Jax Wolfe's thoughts and feelings on this one. I guess next week he might have a tag team partner depending on who is the 4th man from Monday Night Mayhem. And of course on Friday Fight Night, these 3 men and the 4th man will be competing in a 4v4 tag team matchup between the Monday Night Mayhem participants and the Friday Fight Night participants. So it's a big match, and of course last week those participants faced each other on Friday Fight Night, and with just 2 weeks left to go to the pay-per-view, these guys are going to have to trust each other coming into that Friday Fight Night match. We have confirmed for Monday Night Mayhem, it's Darmus, Jesus, and Jax Wolfe, with one more person left to crown tonight in the 6-man battle royal. And on the Fight Night team, it is Wilson Woodward, Liam Connors, Ryan Austin, and Max Danger, who will all be representing the white and gold brand. But here on the black and red brand, it is these three men. And Damas and Jesus, the only tag team who have made it to this point. Both members of the tag team entering into the matchup. And of course, they work together to get them opportunities. Like, Jesus really has done great things for Damas's career. Damas, beginning of his career, just wanted to prove he could go undefeated. He wanted to prove how good he was. He didn't really care too much about going for glory for things like title matches. I mean, he did obviously lose in the European Championship initial 8-man Battle Royal for that title. But, of course, other than that, he hasn't really been pushing for success. Caught in scrappy little fights with people like Greg, with people like Harry. It's not been exactly what he's been hoping for, but since this alliance with Black Jesus has been formed, they've been really dominant together, and they've worked together to achieve already bigger things, and now both with a Money in the Bank opportunity. And everyone in that match has a 1 in 8 chance, but now these two have a 2 in 8 chance if they work together to win that match. But I have a feeling that both with Damas and with Black Jesus, with their new attitudes towards people, I have a feeling that it may be a case of, you know, leave tag team work at ringside and go for the kill and see who comes out the winner. But now, you got to admit, the League of Gods have a better chance than anyone to walk out the champion. But Jax Wolfe would love to walk out with the Money in the Bank briefcase, of course, as would everyone participating in the matchup. But this man has worked really hard. You can really see the improvement this year from Jax Wolfe. It hasn't really shown in this match, though. This 2-on-1 situation really causing him problems here. And he's proving to be more difficult than the Dragon Dynasty was for him. The Dragon Dynasty, he literally really only lost the match, not because, well, mainly because he couldn't just keep him down. Lance just refused to go down. The big man proving to be such a big threat here. So he's debuting, there's a military press slam. And today he just really hasn't got going in this matchup. And maybe the 2-on-1 situations that he's constantly stuck in. Oh, look at that! Blocks the spinning back fist. And now with an opportunity to capitalize. What a move there. Jax Wolfe bringing it all out here tonight. Look at that. Taunting them, and all of a sudden, right on cue, a new lease of life here from Jax Wolfe. Trying to provide a fight back. And look at this. Oh, a massive drop kick. And look at this. The crowd like that. Jax Wolfe all of a sudden with a fight back in this one. He's trying to prove a point, trying to prove how dominant he is. And now look at this. Beautiful sequence here. Beautiful combination, and a running knee to follow. And it's going to move him away from the ropes. Might be thinking of a cover here. He just wants to get him away from his corner. And that's a wise move to do. Straight into the cover. Damas isn't going to be able to break it up into 2. Damas seemed pretty confident. Didn't even hesitate, really, to come and help. But Jax Wolfe all of a sudden with the fight back. And now look at this. He's looking ready to finish this. Looking to produce a win here in this 2-on-1 handicap situation. Lumbar check right to Black Jesus. And he's slap bang in the middle of the ring. Oh, hang on a minute. He's not done. Look at this. Oh, and a beautiful shooting star press off the ropes. Beautiful springboard offense there by Jax Wolfe, showing a little bit of everything here tonight. A little bit of power, some athleticism, some acrobatics, and showing, of course, above else, which we've seen from him so often this year, resiliency, refusing to give in, refusing to let anyone bring the fight to him. And Jesus is suffering the wrath here right now from Jax Wolfe, who is really showing himself off in this one. All of a sudden with a new lease of life after what was a terrible start. And who'd have thought here it'd be Black Jesus struggling. Usually it's the other way around. Damas is usually the one struggling and it's Jesus picking up the slack. But right now Jesus has really struggled. He got caught off guard there. The first person who I think really has countered that spinning back fist. And now look at this massive back superplex. And Damas was begging for the tag, which he hasn't got. Jax Wolfe refusing to let it happen. And that's wise. Prevent the tags. Prevent the tag team interactions. Do not let them use the numbers game against you. And now look at this, going back to this really impressive combination. And a running knee to follow through. Beautiful sequence there from Jax Wolfe. And he might be ready for an ending quite soon. And now look at this. What's he thinking? Oh, look at this. A standing 450 splash. Charged it up, and that was to perfection. And now, looking to put him away. Slap bang in the middle of the Mayhem logo. Jax Wolfe lumbar check. Right to the back. And that's got to be it. But look at this. He's still not done. What is Jax Wolfe trying to do here? Jax Wolfe just trying to injure. Trying to injure Black Jesus. Instead of just getting this one over and done with. Trying to prove a point here is Jax Wolfe. What a combination. And look at this. Oh, and he tried to crawl and get to the cover, to the tag. Couldn't quite do it. And now Jesus trying to fight back after taking several big hits here. Now look at this. Just a deadlift suplex. And now might want to consider tagging out. He is hurt. This match is basically over from Jesus' perspective. But he fights on, and Jesus with the spinning back fist. And I think Jax Wolfe might regret not going for these covers. Because he's about to be pay for it. Spinning powerbomb. And the League of Gods knock off Jax Wolfe. Just like that. Big errors from Jax Wolfe not to go for the cover off the lumbar check. He gave them the opportunity to fight back in this one after a really impressive showing from himself. And look, right there, that's when the match should have ended. He should have gone for the cover. He got greedy. He made the error. And that spinning back fist. From there, it was lights out. But he wanted to make sure. And that spinning power bomb certainly did the trick. And the League of Gods pick up another victory. In tag team action. Getting the job done here tonight in the 2-on-1 handicap. Well, Jax Wolfe, to be honest, has no one to blame for himself in that one. And the League of Gods have taken full advantage. Black Jesus picking up another victory for the League of Gods. But can one of these two walk out with the Money in the Bank briefcase and potentially become world champions? It's a big ask, but I'm sure they could pull it off. The odds are definitely in their favour in comparison to everyone else. Let's move on down the rest of the card. Next up tonight, a match that was asked for in the comment section. And Mason Foster has called out Stephen Miller, or was it the other way around? I'm not sure, but look at this. Straight away, the hostility between these two. Look at this. Stephen Miller just right out the gate, hammering away on Mason Foster. And the referee just trying to get some order into this matchup. And he's ready to ring the bell, and look at that. Straight out the gate. If you don't know why these two are already hating each other after only one encounter with each other, what happened is that last week, big boot there by Mason Foster, last week, these two went head-to-head with one other person, which was Jax Wolfe, for a spot in the Money in the Bank ladder match. And it was Jax Wolfe, of course, who walked out victorious and got that final spot. And it was Mason Foster that was covered from there. Stephen Miller was furious that his first defeat had occurred, and he wasn't even a part of the decision. And that's when the challenge was issued to Mason Foster. And initially it was supposed to be a false count anywhere, but the general manager said, let's not blow things out of proportion just yet. But it looks like things are already getting to that point. Superplex from Stephen Miller. Oh, look at that. The referee had to get out of the way there because the aggression is building. And now Mason Foster straight back on the offensive, and there's a knee smash. And I'm sure at some point we might lead to a falls count anywhere, but for right now, the general manager is trying to keep things from escalating, but it looks like he might have already been too late. Stephen Miller, look at this. Oh, and look at that, a nice little leg sweep. Taking no prisoners tonight here. Came straight out the gate. Neither of these men were interested in putting on an entrance. And a ripcord knee strike to Mason Foster. And it's only going to be a 1 count. No surprise. Neither of these men are going to give up easy. Look at this, a curb stomp. These men are going to fight on. They're going to do whatever it takes. They don't care what they have to do. And Stephen Miller showing that here tonight. There's a running knee. And Mason Foster was caught off guard there by the charge of Stephen Miller from the get-go. But he should have expected this. A challenge was issued. Miller was upset. And no matter who started the fight, they're both determined to finish it there. And look at that. Beautiful little scoop-up powerbomb there right next to the ropes. And now Stephen Miller going to the middle rope. What's he got planned? Oh, look at that. Just a little frog splash. And straight into the cover, looking to wrap it up here. Stephen Miller straight off the cover, and it's a 2. And the crowd are loving this. They seem to love when mayhem really does reign on Monday Night Mayhem. And Stephen Miller providing it here. And now look at this. Irish whip to the corner. Mason Foster in a bit of trouble. Those early shots might have cost him already. Look at this. There's the Irish whip. Oh, look at this. Oh, and a discus elbow. And now Stephen Miller already ready to put Mason Foster away. Scooping him up. Look at this. Tombstone pile driver. In his own unique fashion. And Stephen Miller knocks off Mason Foster here tonight. A challenge was issued. And Miller walks out on top of the challenge. He might have got a little head start there by ambushing him to begin the match, Stephen Miller. And from there, it was all Stephen Miller who dominated the match from start to finish. Picks up another one-on-one victory here. And that's what wraps it up. The sit-out pile driver. Sit-out tombstone pile driver. There we go. Got it that time. And Stephen Miller walks out on top of this challenge in the comments. But I have a feeling that this might not be the last time that we have this challenge issued here tonight. Because Stephen Miller might have just started a fight with Foster that Foster wasn't prepared for. But I guess we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen between these two in future. But Stephen Miller wins tonight, and that is really all that matters for now. Let's move on down the rest of the card. Next up tonight, one of the most important matches of the evening. It is time to crown the final entry into the Money in the Bank ladder match. We already know 7 of the 8 participants, and it's now time to crown that final participant. 6 people chosen by the general manager in this one, either to re-jumpstart their careers or to give them an opportunity that they feel they deserve. And first up, back in singles gear tonight, it's Mr. Xavier Woods or Austin Creed, whichever you prefer. We like to call him Austin Creed here, as he represents Up, Up, Down, Down, and not the New Day here. He says, while of course he comes out to their theme song. But Austin Creed, one half of the former tag team champions who lost their titles last week. And unfortunately for them, El Murphy picked up a slight injury, but that's only going to keep him out for tonight. They're expected to return to action next week. Of course, they don't have a contractual rematch because that was the rematch clause that they lost the titles at, which means they don't have one, which means they'll have to compete for the title one more time. But Austin Creed now has an opportunity for Money in the Bank if he can cash in here tonight on this opportunity and become the last entry. And he brings Francesca down for moral support. But tonight, we'll see what he's capable of. We'll see what he can do by himself. We know he's more than capable of winning by himself. We saw him with a triple threat not too long ago by himself. So we know he's capable of pulling off these wins. And who else has the general manager chosen to come down? It's only fair that this man gets one more opportunity. It is Thomas. Last week had a chance to enter the Money in the Bank match with Greg, but it was a tag team match against the League of Gods, and Greg didn't really help this man at all. It was more of a 2-on-1 handicap situation, and Thomas ended up paying the price for that matchup. So the general manager is giving him one more shot at it. In the trial era, he did win the Money in the Bank, but of course that does not go on the record. This counts as the first ever Money in the Bank ladder match. But, as I've mentioned before, if this man makes it then my money is on him to repeat. He knows what it takes to win this type of matchup. He knows what it takes to be a top superstar. Also in the trial era was a former world champion. But the trial era is behind us. But can he push on now, win this Battle Royal, and earn himself a spot in the Money in the Bank? Next up tonight, to step into this Battle Royal, it's only a 6-man Battle Royal, but it's a big one, and it's Oliver Regem, who's come into a bit of trouble recently. He's had an up and down start to his career in WIW. Was supposed to main event quite a couple of days ago, but ended up not even participating in the match because Aaron Albright, the WIW champion, took it upon himself to turn that into an impromptu matchup to give himself the main event against Rage, which he took very well in his stride, and he won. But Oliver Regem trying to bounce back here and trying to prove he can be one of the top dogs in the division. And tonight, there's no better way to do that by getting the last entry spot in the Money in the Bank ladder match and giving himself an opportunity for the title. Last week losing to Estrella Chico in his debut matchup. So it's a big bounce back night for Oliver Regem if he can do it. It's important that he does, and what a big opportunity it would give him if he can. Next up tonight, it's the last sole surviving member of the Cotterrell family, Brett looking to come back very soon. A lot of injuries hit him this year, very early on out the gate. But Mad Max, not quite the powerhouse of the tag team, but he's definitely the lunatic. And something in the water in the Cotterrell family just makes you absolutely crazy. The only one who seems to be not absolutely insane is Travis Cotterrell, and he's on the other brand. Maybe he's seen the light, maybe the Wolfpack have shown him the way. But this member of Cotterrell's a very loyal family member. But he is an absolute lunatic who can snap at any moment. And he's been given this opportunity here tonight to prove himself and finally get the Cotterrell's career back on track. Max and Brett have struggled so much this year that to the point that they may be in jeopardy of losing their jobs if they can't string some wins together. Especially now that the tag team division is growing at an exponential rate. So it's important that he tries to pick up some kind of momentum here tonight with a victory. Next up tonight is a member of the Dragon Dynasty. A couple of tag team people here getting singles opportunities. And a lot of people might be thinking it's Lance. And Lance was chosen by the general manager. But Lance, like the good friend, like the good partner, has given it to this man. It's given it to Tyson Jackson, who you can't say hasn't earned his chance since forming the Dragon Dynasty. He's been part of a very dominant team who just destroy everyone in their path, debuting at the High Voltage pay-per-view where Lance attacked Jax Wolfe, and they went on to have one of the best matches of the year so far in a 2-on-1 handicap match against Jax Wolfe, in which they came out the victors of, and since then they've been dominating and they are very hard to beat. And for Tyson Jackson to get the Money in the Bank, that could mean big things for the Dragon Dynasty in the future. And he could do with it, and it'll be a big win for him. Final man down to the ring is man who last week picked up his first victory. It is El Estrella Chico, which, as I have now been told, means Starboy. And that's what the SP would mean on the back. But El Estrella Chico made a huge impact last week in his debut matchup against Oliver Regem, and people have been given bigger opportunities for losing their debuts. So tonight he's been put in this Battle Royal with one goal: to walk out with the entry in the Money in the Bank ladder match. And could you imagine, just in your second match, getting entry into the Money in the Bank, and what would be like your third or fourth match in your career, actually participating in the Money in the Bank ladder match? And could you imagine if he walked out the winner? Big things in the future of this man. A debut victory says it all, really. Such a rare thing in WIW, and that's exactly what he's done. And now tonight, he has a chance to propel his career forward. And this match is getting straight underway here. No one's wasting any time getting into their own here. And the two cruiserweights of El Estrella Chico and Max Cotterrell going straight for each other there. But Thomas decided to come and help out the cause and try to eliminate him. Oliver Regem now going to have a shot at Max. Oh, look at this. Estrella, Chico already in a bit of trouble here. As had to fight out of Thomas's grasp there to stay in the matchup. Meanwhile, Tyson Jackson of Up, Down, Down dealing with... Austin Creed of Up, Down, Down dealing with Tyson Jackson of the Dragon Dynasty. Two teams that have yet to face each other, and that would be a very interesting tag team matchup. The former tag team champions in Up, Down, Down facing the Dragon Dynasty. And the problem now for Up, Down, Down is because they don't have their contractual rematch, it could be a lot harder to get the #1 contendership back than they thought. And especially now that Patrick Green and Kazarian Xander aren't even going to defend their titles at the pay-per-view because they have accepted the challenge of the Wolfpack in a champion versus champion match at the pay-per-view. And now look at this. Oh, and a massive knee there by Tyson Jackson. Not letting up at all here tonight. Meanwhile, Estrella Chico continuing to work on Thomas. And Tyson Jackson, look at this, just looking to take everyone on here tonight, but Thomas answers with a leg drag. And now, in a bad spot there was Max Cotterrell. But look at that, massive kick to get out of trouble. Meanwhile, now Austin Creed working away on in the corner on Thomas, trying to get him out the ring, trying to get Thomas out of the Money in the Bank, if possible, and that could be a good tactic. You don't want to see that man in the Money in the Bank, because bad things happen. You just remember last year. And now look at this, Max Cotterrell looking to pick up an elimination. Looking to get rid of him. Oliver Regem's in trouble here. Max trying to force him out of the ring. Bad spot for Oliver Regem, but he fouls out of it. And now look at this, downward spiral from Estrella Chico. And now look at this, just leaping back into the fight, but sees that these two are going at it there. And it's just going to let them fight on. Meanwhile, Regem on the opposite side, fighting on against Max Cotterrell, who's not afraid to take on the big man, the little man. He's not afraid to take on anything. He's a relentless fighter who just loves hurting people. And now look at this. Now he's in a dangerous position. Oh, look at that. Flipped out of the suplex there with ease there, Thomas. I caught that at the corner of my eye. Meanwhile, Jackson's in trouble. He could be eliminated. Max Cotterell's going to fight out, and it looks like Jackson might do the same. Oh, look at this. First elimination. It's Thomas. What a big elimination from Estrella Chico. Went for a German suplex, big counter by Oliver Regem. But that is a big elimination to start this match off. Last year's trial era Money in the Bank winner is now out. And he can't believe his eyes. Look at this. Last week put up a much better fight than that. But Estrella Chico, what a way to start the match for him. Picking up a win. Picking up an elimination. And oh, look at this, Max Cotterrell escaping Regem there. And those two have been locking horns to and fro since the beginning of this match. And Estrella Chico now going to try and get rid of Austin Creed. He's not willing to just take it easy in this one, Chico. He wants to eliminate all of the big names here in this one. But look at this. Look at Max. Fisherman pile driver. Hooking the leg there. And now look at this. Creed's got Jackson in trouble here in the corner. We have 5 men remaining in this matchup. And look at a senton. And Jackson fighting out of the corner there as Creed went for the elimination. But look at that shooting star press by Mad Max. And Estrella Chico now in a spot of trouble, but not as much trouble as Creed's in, as he's being double teamed by Regem and the Dragon. But look at this. Looking for the elimination. Hurricane Runner, there goes Estrella Chico. Let's get another look at that. Beautiful move there by Max Cotterrell to get out of that one. And that saves him in this match. And there goes Estrella Chico. And he will not be participating in the Money in the Bank ladder match. And that's going to be a disappointing loss for him after picking up such a huge elimination to kick off this match. And this is really getting into the swing of things here. 4 men left. Tyson, oh, look at that. A massive discus clothesline by Oliver Regem. 4 men left. Austin Creed, Max Cotterrell, Tyson Jackson, and Oliver Regem. 1 spot left in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Who's going to capitalize? Oh dear, Jackson's in trouble. Look at that, exploder suplex. And out goes the Dragon. Look at this. There's the replay. Massive exploder suplex over the top rope. And Regem brings it down to 3. 3 men left now. Each with elimination minus Creed, who gets the snap suplex there. And now look at this. These two resume the battle they've been having for the majority of the match. Max Cotterrell and Oliver Regem, who have been battling back and forth non-stop since this match has started, but they just can't seem to get the elimination on one another, and that's a massive enziguri. They're all fighting for the same prize, for one more spot in the Money in the Bank. Oh, look at that, went for the discus clothesline. But big counter by Max Cotterrell. That could be a fatal error there. And now look at this, Max looking to roll him up here. Does so. Big impact there. And now Creed finding his way back to his feet finally. He's back in the action. And he's going to let them fight on, and that might not be the worst thing to do. And now Max, he's got Regem in a bad position. Looking to pick up the elimination. Oh, but look at this! Creed! Creed gets rid of Regem, who was not seeing that one coming. Oh, look at this. He just counters it into a roll-up, not quite for the pinfall, because it's not going to be that type of match. Regem caught off guard there. Look at this. Can't believe his eyes. Shining Wizard! Shining Wizard to Max Cotterrell. And that could be enough to get him out of the match. Max is in trouble. Austin Creed to progress to Money in the Bank. No! Max holds on. And with Regem out, we are down to 2. Both representatives of the tag team division. And Creed doing whatever's necessary to win that matchup. And look at this, playing to the crowd loving seeing Creed dominating here in this one. And Max Cotterell's in a vulnerable position. It could be a massive win for the Cotterrell family if Max can be in the Money in the Bank ladder match, but as big as it would be for him, it's a big, you'd imagine it's a big one for Creed as well. And the up, down, down team looking to bounce back after losing the tag team titles just last week. But look at this, Max not giving up without a fight. Roll that powerbomb there. And Mad Max, you see the anger in his eyes, the frustration that's been building through the course of this matchup. Can he get the spot he wants? Oh, look at that! Beautiful move there. Showing that cruiserweight acrobatic display. And now who can walk out the winner here? Trapped in the corner, not where he wants to be! Creed's gone and Max wins! Mad Max has won! And now Chaos has now been put in the Money in the Bank ladder match. And with his second elimination of the match, Max Cotterrell picks up the win in what was a spectacular 6-man battle royal. They all fought long and hard, but the final entry in Money in the Bank has been crowned, and it is one half of the Cotterells, Max Cotterrell, representing his brother while he's out injured, and that's a big win for this man. The final 4 for Mayhem have now been chosen. The 8 men in that match will all face in a 4-on-4 tag team match on Friday Fight Night. But Max Cotterrell secures the final place as we move on to the main event. Big win for Max Cotterrell. Final match of the evening, the main event, and it's the WIW champion in ring action tonight. And he'll be taking on Jaden, who's already made an appearance here tonight in an attempt to cripple the monster that is Rage. And here he comes tonight. Oh, but look at this, Rage, Jaden isn't ready to let this one wait until the ring. Look at that. Attack on the WIW champion, who makes his way down to the ring, only to be ambushed by Jaden from behind. And Jaden's had enough of being the one on the receiving end of these beatdowns, and it looks like he's decided he wants to take matters into his own hands now, and he wants to be the one doing the beatings. And this match being sent to the ring, the WIW championship left on the way down to the ring. And look at this, Jaden just ambushing Aaron Albright. And now look at this, Albright trying to fight back. And now look at this, scooping him up on a pile driver. Oh, right on the concrete. And all of a sudden, Jaden's attack isn't going as well as he hoped. And into the ring this one goes. The referee calls for the bell. This match is going to happen. I was worried for a moment that it may not, but this match is going to happen. And the WIW champion looking to continue his dominance since becoming champion. And look at this. That attack hasn't worked well in the favor of Jaden. But this match is underway. The leather jacket comes off. And Aaron Albright ready to dominate. Look at this. There's the snap of the neck. And Jaden has built up all this frustration. This triple threat in the back of his mind, just trying to get one up on these people, and it just doesn't seem to be working for him. He managed to do it with Rage, and I'm assuming Rage is now in the hospital trying to see how much damage has really been done from that knee bar. May not have been locked in for long, thanks to the referee forcing the break from the disqualification, but the damage was definitely done. You could see it on Rage, and there's an early 2 count from Aaron Albright. Worrying signs there from Jaden. And now look at that, an elbow smash to the top of the head. And now all of a sudden, WIW champion, who has been so dominant as of late, continues the dominance here against Jaden. And then he's done well in these one-on-one situations. He's already conquered Rage, and now he's trying to conquer Jaden. But if he can do these one-on-one, can he do it in a triple threat, where he may not even need to be a part of the decision to lose the title? There's the famouser, the one in the match last week. But he's not settling for that here. Remember, it was Jaden who betrayed him just a few weeks ago. Well, he didn't betray him. He helped him win the WIW Championship at High Voltage. But their alliance lasted just the length that took Albright to the top of the pile and playing to the crowd, and he's been so dominant ever since. Really has proved himself here as the WIW champion this year, and that's exactly what he wants to prove. Look at this, waiting for Jaden to get back to his feet. And now what's he got planned? There's a neck snap. And Jaden, every time he gets up, just keeps getting knocked back down. And now looking to put Jaden away. Jaden's in trouble here. He doesn't want to get up. No! Super kick dodged. And now Jaden looking to fight back, but Albright fed off of Jaden's hesitation there. After dodging the super kick, here's the cover on Jaden. It's a 2 count. The crowd loving this one here in the main event. Uprising, these two and Rage, the masked monster, will step in the ring in a triple threat, no DQ matchup for the WIW Championship, and it's going to be a big fight. You know it will be. 3 men who just have genuine hatred for one another, trying to walk out the champion of the company, and there's a massive superplex. And Albright feeling the effects of that one as he lands on his back as well. But Jaden taking a beating here. He saved himself some time dodging the super kick, but the famouser again, busting him open straight into the cover. No time for a reaction. And no, he kicks out at 2. Despite bleeding, he fights on in this one and continues to wear him down there with an elbow. And not charging up the super kick this time. He wants to make sure the job is done. Looking for the X Factor DDT. Look at this. Oh, big brain buster to take him down. And that's going to wrap it up. The WIW champion picks up another victory. And since becoming champion, he just comes across as unbeatable. He is just dominating everyone in his path, no matter whether they try to get one up on him, no matter whether he's the one getting the one up on the other. Aaron Albright, no matter what the circumstances, seems to walk out the winner every time since walking out the champion. And there's the brain buster. And Aaron Albright, the champ, picks up another victory here tonight to close off tonight's show. What's been a great one as well. We now know all the entries in the Money in the Bank ladder match, and we will see them compete in a 4-on-4 in the next episode. But for now, that is all we have time for today. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new to it. Be sure to comment your thoughts and feelings on the show, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.